Is today's news the first domino to fall or the last nail in the coffin for the end of digital? Wait, what? No. Is today's announcement the first domino to fall or the last nail in the coffin for physical media in gaming? We're going to talk about the timeline from Alan Wake to the digital Series X FTC leaks, the statement from Ubisoft's executive, and now Hellblade 2, and with us rounding out with today's announcement. Guys, this is Pushing Polygons. I'm the Collector, and for this one, I'm hot, I'm pissed, I'm passionate. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more like this, subscribe. And let me know in the comments below, do you buy digital, do you buy physical? And why do you buy that? Me personally, I'm a big physical collection person. I do play my games. I love having the disc. It gives me a sense of value for my collection instead of a bunch of things just sitting in the cloud somewhere like I have with my Steam collection. But with all that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get into this timeline and let's discuss where Microsoft is going next when it comes to you playing your games. Since before the days of Mario Brothers, games have been physical. However, in 2013, Microsoft ended up trying to change that paradigm by releasing the Xbox One, which was going to be a completely digital future where games had to check in, where you weren't going to be able to trade your games at a local store such as a GameStop.
Box that is designed to use an online state. Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message if you don't, like it?
If you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean, seriously, when I read the blogs and thought about who's really the most impacted, there was a person who said, hey, I'm on a nuclear sub, and I don't even know what it means to be on a nuclear sub, but I've got to imagine that it's not easy to get an internet connection.
And that future, although it doesn't appear to have been brought forward, it wasn't destroyed like Sarah Connor and John Connor thought in Terminator 2, but it was delayed like they found out in Terminator 3. So this is that timeline that we're in. So after Phil Spencer saved the Xbox brand, we started with Game Pass and we started putting games into Game Pass. And as the years have gone by, Game Pass has started gaining more and more of a following up until the acquisition of In Exile, Bethesda, and now ABK. However, in the last couple years, things have taken a dark turn as the industry and people who buy video games have gotten more and more acquainted with buying digitally. Not going to the GameStop, not going to the Walmart, not going to the Best Buy, because even at this point, Best Buy is getting out of physical media for movies with considerations for games expected later this year. Target is also getting out of the physical media business, with Walmart getting out of physical Xbox games. Further, that last fall, before the launch of Alan Wake 2, Remedy came out and said that the game was going to be only digital. This was a extreme change because this was the first really big AAA type of game that anyone had seen, which was saying that there wasn't going to be a physical copy. This was kind of a shock to everyone. So, you know, this is the first game outside of something that was an MMO or was a All-Stars, the driving All-Stars game on PlayStation 5, because I don't believe there was a physical edition of that. I believe that was canceled. But these were service-based games, whereas Alan Wake 2 is a first-party game. Now, of course, Remedy said in their statement that the game was going to be cheaper, and they did offer it cheaper, saying that, you know, they didn't need to produce discs, they didn't need to produce cases. There was a lot of things that gave them more flexibility with the price, and that's why they weren't going to do a physical edition. Not giving consumers, because we're talking about being pro-consumer, a choice. Although the game, I believe, was going into Game Pass, there was still not going to be a physical version offered. Now, let's fast forward a little bit, and we get to the FTC leaks. Now, one of these leaks showed a refreshed Xbox 3... I almost said Xbox 360. Not that console. An Xbox Series X, which was basically akin to a Apple Mac Pro from a couple generations ago that basically looks like a trash can. It's a black cylinder that doesn't have a disk drive. Now, the console is supposed to, rumored, come with 2 terabytes, which is going to be more space for those digital games. Well, this is one thing that I would comment on. If this rumor is true, Microsoft, you better find more space for those CF cards that you release, because people are still going to need more storage when a Call of Duty game is half a terabyte. So we had the leak of the Series X refresh. We are still waiting to see if Project Brooklyn is going to come to pass. That should happen by holiday of 2024 if the product is still coming to market. Fast forward past that, we have Ubisoft executives saying that you will own nothing and you will like it. Yes, you will like it. You won't own anything. And what they're talking about this is that the future of the game industry is service only. If you have no access to the internet, hey, you don't have your games. If you don't pay for their service, you don't have access to your games. This is a move to extract more money out of you over the course of time. This is another tactic similar to that of microtransactions or skins for service-based games to get you to interact with titles longer or stay in their service longer. Now what you're paying for is their library and not an individual game. Of course, one issue being with that, and we see this in the service cable-based industry, your Paramount Pluses, your Netflixes, is that not everybody in that space can be a content creator. They must be a provider. The more creators/providers you have, fragment your libraries more, and in the end, you may end up paying more in a year than you would just by buying a single game. Getting to Hellblade 2. Now, this, of course, goes back to the FTC leaks. Microsoft is saying, hey, Hellblade 2 going to be similar to the first game. And oh, by the way, it's digital only. We're not releasing a physical. Now, this is the first time, well, for Microsoft, it's not the first time. Although there was a disc for Halo Infinite, there was nothing on the disc for Halo Infinite. The disc was essentially a coaster. Thankfully, there's some other companies that don't do that with their games. But essentially, Halo was a coaster. And Microsoft is continuing to do this, but at this time with Hellblade 2, they're not even bothering to release the coaster for you. They're just saying, hey, $50 or Game Pass, this is how you are going to get this game. And we have no further comment on how we're going to offer this. Now, of course, Microsoft hasn't said whether or not this is going to be the case with Indiana Jones or Avowed later this year. There's still some hope that with all of the 30 million original Series X's out on the market, that they may still release a disc for that or do some sort of limited edition run. That's going to be a wait and see on that, unfortunately. But the most damning evidence that Microsoft is getting out of the physical space is them laying off a lot of people today, and some of those people being responsible for getting games into the physical market. This is the sign that Microsoft has made and is committing to the decision that they are getting out of physical games. When you have companies like Walmart, which aren't going to offer Microsoft's games physically anymore, yeah, maybe some of those positions are redundant, but you can't tell me that all of them are redundant enough to close down sections of their department. So that is the most damning evidence. Now, the question is whether or not Sony is going to follow suit. Some suggest that they already are putting their toe in that water by releasing a disk drive on the remodeled PS5, which requires DRM to phone home when you initialize the console. Whether that is going to be the long-term case, I think is going to depend upon the backlash from the public on whether Sony walks back from those decisions. Now, there are other games, and I've pointed this out in a tweet, that are limited run games, which has been embroiled in its own controversies over the years, and I Am 8-Bit, which is doing Sea of Stars, the physical edition, and I'm looking forward to playing that game. And they could take over publishing duties on a smaller scale for Microsoft, especially, I believe, a few years ago, Microsoft did sign some form of agreement with them. We haven't seen a ton of games out of them, but if they are going to still release them physically, that is a potential possibility of how we're going to do that, as Microsoft as an organization loves to outsource their work, whether it is development, whether it is marketing. They do a lot of outsourcing at that company. So this could be another way that they outsource one of their vital roles in basically making a product. But what do you guys think? Is physical dead? Is Microsoft out? I think they are out. I think it's just a matter of time before they make the official announcement. How long do you think before Sony basically joins them on that bandwagon? And is this the last generation where we are going to own our games? Do you see PS6 and Xbox Series Next being a huge paradigm shift? I don't know. We're going to have to potentially wait until 2026 to see if those rumors are true. But guys, I am really disappointed in what's going on when it comes to physical games. I love physical games. I continue to collect and play games, and that's part of what this channel has been about, is showing the physical games and the enjoyment of old retro stuff from N64, original Xbox, Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and anything else that I find of interest that is from the retro collection. I know I'm missing a few systems there, but I am passionate about these games. I love having these physical games, and I'm very disappointed in these companies for abandoning what has been a cultural norm for the last 30 plus years. Guys, this is Pushing Polygons. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Again, let me know in the comments below what you think about everything that's going on with physical digital. Do you buy discs for your gaming library? And why do you buy them? And again, if you like this video, please share it out. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.